Hey guys, welcome to Massive Iron Live. It is Friday, February 23rd. We're almost in March already. Bring on spring, right? I'm ready for spring. We initially said, man, it was a mild winter here in Ohio, and we felt pretty fortunate. And just about the time I got well and wanted to start running, it got cold. So I'm really over that. So welcome to Massive Iron Live, guys. I'm here every Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern. I appreciate you joining me. A couple notes if you're new here, or if you're watching this after we're done recording live. Please tune in every Friday at 11 Eastern. I appreciate your support. I appreciate your sport. I'm grinding away to 100,000 subs, so I sincerely appreciate your support. I've been doing this for like 10 years. So post up your questions. There are no dumb questions, just stupid questions, really bad questions, awkward questions, questions that we don't want to hear, but you can post up questions on anything: diet, training, nutrition, supplements, off topic, whatever. Off topic is cool. We got a lot of things going on in the world, and pretty scary. Like the 2020s are like hashtag what the, first we're dealing with the pandemic, and now we got the Russia-Ukraine thing going on. And wow. So if you're new here, if you post up a question and I do not see it, just know I am not avoiding you. I'm not avoiding you. I'm definitely not avoiding you. YouTube is really bad at, I'm just grabbing my phone. YouTube is really bad at comments. So there are certain people that have commented for quite a long time that can't get on live, that can't post comments. That's not me ignoring you. You can head over to Instagram at Ben the Barman, and slide into my DM with a comment. Now, a couple of new things. First off, I want to let you guys know we have Team Massive, and you probably can't see it. Okay, well, no, you probably can't see it. Okay, we have Team Massive, so check out the link below if you want to join Team Massive. It's growing every day. It's a one-time fee to enter. We put a fee on to not only cover the costs of the community, which run me about $20 a month, but so we can upgrade it moving forward, and so on and so forth. And so we can keep out the riffraff, right? Keep out the riffraff. Beyond that, I am over on TikTok. Massive Iron YT, YouTube. It's funny, I made a community post earlier in the week letting people know I was on TikTok. And I accidentally, you type stuff in, and I typed it in wrong. I typed TikTok. And whenever you make a mistake, like on YouTube, when you got a reasonably sized channel, some weirdo is just like takes it and runs with it, and like that's his shtick for like 5 years. TikTok. Every time you post, TikTok, like he sees a new video release, and he comments TikTok. So yeah, here's the Mr. TikTok. All right, guys, post up your questions. We've been rolling the last couple of weeks, upwards of 2.5 hours, almost 3 hours. So rock it out. Let me hear how you guys are doing, where you're from, how things are going. I posted up a quiz in the community section. Do you have a home gym? And I'd be curious if you guys want to comment. You guys can leave general comments in the stream. How's that home gym going for those of you guys that have the home gym? Are you wishing you had more equipment? What do you feel is lacking? Are you kind of regretting it now and missing a commercial gym? And for you guys in the commercial gym at the back end of the pandemic, I can't say we're out of the pandemic. I don't know what's going on there. I can't say we're out of the pandemic, but completely, because I don't think some leaders can let it go. But for those of you in the commercial gyms, how's that going for you? Do you wish you had a home gym? Now, one last thing, superlivingtoday.com. If you want coaching, head over there. If you want to join Team Massive, head over there. If you need a workout, I got just dozens of PDF workouts available. Coaching. I'm with you every single day. I don't just check in once a week. I don't by email. I have a private app, and I'm with you every single day. Unlimited communication. We get on the phone. We talk for at least a half an hour, about a half an hour. I build you a custom workout. We set a nutrition plan of attack. We interact nearly daily. I've been trying to take a little bit more time to myself on the weekends off to work on other projects like writing a book. And I'm with you. I watch your exercise form. I watch your workouts. You submit workout logs every day, single day. I watch your nutrition. I watch your weight. We don't do fat bulks. We get you to where you want to go. And this is a coaching service that's available to anyone, whatever your goals are, whether you want to run and lift, whether you want to lose fat. I have just a crazy wide variety of clients. I really do. Strongman competitors, strong women competitors, power lifters, athletes with, just all kinds of unique situations and circumstances. So, all right, let's roll. Enough of the commercial. Stein is first. It's funny. I released the video today, and before I could even look at the chat stream, Stein had said, "Hello, folks, and happy Friday." And Rico was close. Hey, Rico, how's it going? Rico was close. And look at that. Look at that shirt. Come on, Stein, not even fair. Look at that shirt. Look at that shirt. Skirt? Did I say skirt? I'm going to go in the corner of shame. So, yeah. Look at that shirt. Any of you guys want that shirt, you can head over to superlivingtheday.com. I think I got it up for like $13.99. I don't try to, those shirts cost me like $8.99 cost, and I keep about a $5 buffer in case, just to cover the costs of orders that don't go through. Because if your order doesn't go through with me, I will reship it on my dime. And like things that I sell, like books and shirts, I don't make hardly any money off of them. The money I do basically covers the shipping on stuff that doesn't get there. Stein was here 2 seconds after I launched. Hey, that's me. Dungeons and Dumbbells. Guys, head over to his channel. He is on Team Massive. He's a good guy. And, please consider watching his videos. And if you like him, please subscribe. If you're going to beat Stein, you need to do better than that. Stein was truly a ninja today. Olympic grade lurker. Home gym is subjective since I have somewhat sketchy equipment that I wouldn't trust to go too heavy on. Yeah, if you can't push yourself on your equipment, I wouldn't call it a home gym. I would call it, I don't know, maybe a circus act. Maybe it'd be good for Tick, see what kind of trouble you could get in. Fair enough. I clicked on it as soon as I got the notification. He had already commented. I don't know how he does it. Can't wait. Love tuning in while hitting my Friday training. Thank you. It is shoulder day for me. Let me know what you guys are training today. Stein the Great. Live Mysterium. Oh, and thank you for featuring my Instagram post on your story. My pleasure. Any of you guys that have massive iron gear or books or whatever, or you're just training using one of my workouts, tag me on Instagram. Or hashtag massive iron, and if I see it, I'll definitely feature it. All right, Stein, can food intake make it look like you lose weight at a slower rate? As I drop calories, I increase low-calorie foods like fruit and veggies. Let me process this. Can food intake make it look like you lose weight at a slower rate? I'm assuming you mean calories are the same. It's an interesting question. I just saw, I believe, on Menno Henselman's Instagram, a discussion on food types, junk food versus healthy food. And of course, when a study is done with healthy food, healthy is completely at the bias of the crew doing the study, right? But they saw a difference in same calories, but they saw the healthy people lose weight lose more weight, noticeably more weight than the people that ate the same calories on junk. Now, there could be a lot of factors involved, with things that could affect your hormones, things that could affect your, eating junk might make you feel more sluggish. You might be less active. We don't really know if they monitored activity levels. So don't just take this at surface value. It's a one-off study, and there's a lot of layers to this. But food intake, can it make it look like you lose weight at a slower rate? It really depends. This week I've been at around 2,000 calories average. And you guys are probably thinking that's pretty low. Well, I sit all day long doing client work. Sit. And if I don't drop my calories to 2,000, I have a hard time sustaining weight loss right now. And we're not running yet. Just got over COVID and waiting for it to warm up. But the point here is that when I have, like last night, I wanted a snack after dinner, and I had a jar of pickles. It might sound disgusting to you guys, but it's like 60 calories. I toss in some Frank's Red Hot, and I get the munch, right? I get the munch for like 10 minutes. Ooh, what a life. But when I do that, when I eat like pickles, and sometimes I do olives, and we're just talking about food choices, I wake up heavier because my body, there's a lot of sodium. My body retains water. Now, if I eat 3 or 4 times as many calories with fruit and Greek yogurt, I wake up lighter. So the whole water retention game can play a part in it. But Stein, I'd like to know more. So if you want to dive into this deeper. Man, period. If you have a very similar skeletal structure to David Lade, and you have the genes to be shredded easily, can you look like him naturally? Oh, David Lade. Let me pull this up. I haven't looked at his physique in a while. And David, wow, David looks a little bit David looks a little bit unnatty in some pictures. Man, I don't know about that. That's just a little bit too much. Can you look like David Lade? You could probably get within 5 pounds of David Lade. But that's going to require a lot of work. Yeah, you can get. I mean, you're not going to look exactly like him. Obviously, no two lifters have 100% clones of muscle insertions and that sort of thing. You could probably get within about 5 pounds of him if he is on the old TRT. It looks minimal, but I'm skeptical of him being natural. And that's just my opinion. Looking at photos, I don't really care if he does or doesn't. So don't misinterpret my statement. But you can get probably within 5 pounds of muscle of him, but you're going to have to be balls out strong. I mean, balls out strong. So get strong. Troy, wish I had a home gym. Used to have a rack bench, Olympic bar, and dumbbells, but sold it for peanuts when I stopped lifting. Boy, do I regret that. I bet. Now, one of the things with home gyms is that so many people lack quality dumbbells. So if you're a home gym owner, and I have no affiliation with Titan Fitness, but I am going to drop this. I'm searching it right now. I'm going to drop this in the comments. Okay, it is out of stock. Hold on, wait for this. It is out of stock, but when it comes back in stock, you might want to put notify me when this is in stock. I'm going to put it in the comments right now, so you guys want to take this seriously. I just pasted the link. Titan Fitness has a dumbbell set. There it is. For about $270, you get 2 adjustable dumbbells and 200 pounds of weight for like $269. So for those of you guys, that have a home gym and don't have dumbbells, this is the best deal I've seen, and I love Titan Fitness. They ship quick. They have good customer service. Now, when their stuff shows out of stock like this, usually if you put in to be notified when it's back in stock, it's in stock quickly, usually. Now, this is such a good deal. I don't know. I did find this exact weight set. Somebody's reselling them on eBay for like $360, which is still a pretty good darn price, all things considered. All right, where was I? Stein, one day I would love to have my home gym. Yep, one of the keys is having space. So if you can find a home with a nice outbuilding or back building or whatever, you're good to go. Add Slammer. I have 330 millimeter barbells. My brain doesn't think in millimeters because I'm from America, so we only do inches. So one easy bar and enough weight to load them. Also, I have 3 pairs of dumbbells, 2 benches, 1 adjustable. That's good. 2 pair of stands and a pull-up bar. Fine for now. That's some good equipment. That sounds about like what you need. The only once you get to that point, if you're passionate about building your legs, then things can get a little bit hairy, because squats, great. And then you can add in Bulgarian split squats and lunges, maybe old school sissy squats, front squats, barbell hack squats. But, if you're like me, you miss the leg press and the hack squat. I have a a leverage squat from Titan Fitness in my home gym. I've used that twice, and I absolutely love it. You can go super deep, ATG, ass to grass. It really hits my quads. I'm a big fan of it. And, it was only like $630. All right. Thoughts on use of accommodating resistance bands and chains to address increased difficulty in the strong portion of a rep range? I used chains for a very long time. Now, when you get to the point if strength is a passion of yours and you get to the point where you want to build more strength, you're going to need to try some new things. Whether it's trying some new exercises, some variations, or messing around with bands and chains. Now, I messed around with both. I did some reverse band work with squats and with bench, and I messed around with a lot with chains, far more with chains than I did bands. I prefer chains. They feel better to me, and that's just my personal choice, right? But it's good to mess around with them. I would not do them every week. What I would do is work them in maybe every other week as an exercise variation. So if you do bench, have some bench protocol week 1. Week 2, do something with chains or bands or whatever, do a different exercise. You could also switch exercises. So maybe week 1, you could do floor press. Week 2, you could do bench with chains. So you can work in exercise variety and chains, but it's definitely a wise thing to do if you want to push yourself and build more strength. Definitely good to play around with. Hey, boss, did you first run go after getting back from COVID? It didn't go well, not because of COVID, but we've been out like 5 or 6 times since COVID ended, just on walks, hikes, whatever you want to call them. And it's been awful weather here between snow and rain and mud. So the trail we went on ain't much running going on with the mud and the snow and the ice, but it went well. We're building up. My next run is June, Summer Sasquatch in Ohio. And then I got a July 12-hour run. So we'll see how it goes. 12, I got to laugh. Speaking of running, I get the occasional comment. Now, look, guys, I'll be 55 this year, right? I'm not a beauty queen. I'm not a beauty queen. And I'm never professed to be a beauty queen. But it's funny, because I'm a little bit older. someone will pop on your channel or find your channel and go, "Hey, fat boy, you're out of shape, fat boy. Hey, fat boy, you're out of shape, fat boy." I'm like, "Oh, okay, pal. Like relax a little bit. Let's slow down. Maybe you want to come on a run with me and see how out of shape I am." Right? Just silly comments. I don't take them seriously. Robert, can't believe so many people have home gyms. I'm jealous. It is unbelievable. I would say at the peak during the pandemic, I was dealing probably with 70% of clients that had home gyms, and not everybody liked them. There can be one of the issues, and I'd like you guys to let me know what you think or if you've experienced this. One of the issues that's common when you transition into a home gym or move to a home gym is there can be a little bit of tediousness to it. You can get a little bit tired of the lack of exercise variety. And as well, with a home gym, there can be a noticeable decrease in energy. Like when you're at a commercial gym, there can be more energy, or depending on what type of gym you're at, it can also be a negative, obviously. But, some people feel a little bit flat and demotivated or don't quite have the energy that they had at a commercial gym. Kalen, how much of a deficit for a mini cut? Well, when it comes to cutting, I've been evolving my opinion on this over the years. And as someone that, coaches and trying to work with people, helping them to get to their goals, first off, we need to understand that weight loss is not easy. It is not easy. We have to establish that. It is easier for people that are actively involved with fitness and nutrition already, because they don't have to make food changes. They understand the demands already and they're eating pretty healthy. So my point here is when I see somebody like Kalen that wants to do a cut, he has a much greater chance of success with the cut than somebody that comes to me that's 350 pounds and wants to lose 100 or more, because they have to change a lifestyle, whereas Kalen's already in a lifestyle. So that mini rabbit trail aside, for somebody like you, it depends on the length. You want to get it over with. So what I usually do is I set a ceiling, which is like 300 or 400 calories below maintenance level, and then I set a floor. So let me explain. Say your maintenance level is at 26. I'm just not saying for you, Kalen, but in general. I would set a ceiling at maybe 2,300. Okay. That's on an average day, you go for 2,300 calories. If you're feeling really good, take it down to 1,500 or 1,700 or 1,850. Go below your ceiling. It's okay to go below your ceiling. Now, a lot of people are panicked, like, I'm going to lose all my muscle. Well, what we understand in modern science is that it's very difficult in the short term to lose much, if any, muscle if you're training normally. Okay. So the paranoia and fear, I understand it. You're cutting calories. I'm going to shrivel away to nothing. But in the short run, it is better to go hard and to go fast on a cut when you can on days you're strong and get it over with. So again, if your maintenance level is at 2,600, you might want to set a ceiling of 2,300 and a floor of 1,500, and just vary wherever you feel on a given day within that. Plan for maybe 2,300, but if you're feeling strong, go down lower. Eat less food during the day, snack less during the day, just rely on protein and maybe low glycemic fruits during the day, maybe even a little bit of nuts, whatever. Now, if what we want to do is prevent this cut from stretching out, because that's the biggest issue. You're going to get cutting diet fatigue. If you don't have an end goal, like 12 weeks until a contest, if you really don't have a carved in stone date, it's much easier to spin off the road, right? Because there's no defined end in sight. So it is better to get it over with as quick as possible so you avoid cutting diet fatigue. Now, you can, if you get fatigue with your diet, go up to maintenance level. How long? As long as you want. A week, 3 days, a month. What the biggest mistake people make when they're cutting, and they're cutting, say, for an extended period of time, is that when they break, they go over maintenance and then they lose a couple weeks and the roller coaster ride begins. That's where we get the yo-yo dieting. So I implore you guys, if you are cutting and it's going to be a little bit longer than a month, if you want to break, go to maintenance level. Your question might be, what if I want to cheat? What if I want a cheat day? Well, a cheat day, you shouldn't be pigging out silly. A cheat day is having something you don't normally have, like a cup of ice cream, not a pint of ice cream, not a quart of ice cream, a serving of them tortillo chips, not a bag of them tortillo chips. You know what I'm saying? So how do I attack a cheat day? Well, I eat as little as possible before 5 o'clock. I try to save all my calories for one big shebang, if you will. So if you want to cheat and let's say you're using my example of 2,600 calories maintenance, you've been cutting for 3 weeks, you need a burger, man. You need a burger, man, right? So what you do is I would not eat during the day until 5 o'clock or limit calories to 200 or 300. You won't die. It's just one day, right? And then you have over 2,000 calories for dinner. You get yourself a Diet Coke. You get yourself one of those big old triple Whopperooskies and whatever, and you're good to go. All right. Only getting 4 to 5 hours sleep recently. Can I still make decent gains? Absolutely. Absolutely. Obviously, more sleep is always better. But in the lifting realm, we tend to use hyperbole or exaggeration a lot because people need to write stuff, right? There is some science here in the long run. If you don't get enough sleep, it's going to impact your muscle. But that's not as big as you guys think. It's not as big as you guys think. The thing you guys need to understand is if you are training hard and training properly and your nutrition is in check, then you're going to gain pretty close to normal, with less than optimal sleep. Now, 4 to 5 hours, that's not a lot. And, I'm not going to dive into your personal life, but if it's anything you can control, like what time you go to bed or whatever, you need to improve. And you definitely need to crush your nutrition. If you are getting less than optimal sleep and you're messing around with your nutrition, you're not serious about building muscle. Let me repeat. Whether it is or isn't within your control, the sleep, whether it is or isn't, what is within your control is your nutrition. And if you're not getting enough sleep, whether it is or isn't within your control, and you're not crushing your nutrition, you're not serious about muscle. And I'll leave it at that. Brent, sorry. Not sure if I'm getting through, but how you been? How are you? It's been a while. Good to see you, Brent. Doing good. I've been training 2.5 weeks. I'm back since COVID. Things are going pretty well. I'm slowly moving the weights up. My last back day, I did block pulls from about 3 or 4 inches. Not pulling from the floor yet. That went really well. I did lat pull downs, T-bar rows, and some curly whirlies for the bicepticons. Invisible. Missed 2 lives. Now I'm back. Thanks for coming back. Stan. I always want to say Stein. Hello from Norway. I sold my gym. Oh, no. I hope you got some good money from it. Here we go. All right. Felix. Hello from Colorado. Hope everyone's doing well. How's it going, Felix? Felix. Now, I'm going to ask you guys a question. We're about half an hour in. Little off-topic question before we go back to the comments and questions. Are you guys looking forward to the new Batman movie? Yes or no? Yes or no? Are you looking forward to the new Batman movie? Why or why not? I've been anxiously awaiting the digital release of the latest Spider-Man movie. Me and my wife watched the movie before, and we absolutely loved it. For those of you guys unfamiliar, I've been a comic book geek from way, way back when, and I actually collect comics. I try to collect older ones. I don't care necessarily about the grade, just getting them. So this one is, I like westerns and space, and I collect Marvel generally, but this one's a 20 center that I just got for like a couple, $2-3, and I got some subscriptions. This is an X Factor. I got like 20 of those for like $20. This is the new Alien comic that just came out from Marvel, new Alien series, and the new Avengers. So I'm a little bit of a geek. Don't tell anybody. I need a hobby. Don't hate. Andrew, love my home gym. Can do almost all exercises, and the time saving driving to the gym is amazing. Absolutely. I love being able to walk downstairs and lift. Brent, I love the commercial gym. All my friends are there. Yeah, there's something about a commercial gym. It can be good and bad. You know, you build friendships, but then sometimes you walk in, you got to socialize for 20 minutes before you can lift. Randall, love having my home gym. Wish I had cable. So, yeah, you know, we were talking on the Team Massive Iron group this morning. Somebody mentioned they have the pulley system and that it sways a lot. I had that. I had that before I got a cable system, and you can't. I found I can't really generate power right on lat pull downs or seated rows because the thing just swings and it drives me mad. So I don't like them at all. I would advise you guys to scrounge up everything you can in your house, sell it on eBay, save up $300, and get a plate loaded lat pull down station. You can do lat pull downs, you can do seated cable rows, you can do cable tricep extensions, bicep curls, you can do single arm chest flies, all kinds of good stuff. Richard Murray from Scotland, soon to be invaded by Russia. I heard it's not even funny. I mean, no, I did not hear that Russia was invading Scotland. But this whole thing with Russia invading Ukraine, for those of you guys unfamiliar, Ukraine has a lot of resources. And there was a comment this morning that I don't want to dive deep into politics because this is kind of an escape, you know, current events and all that kind of stuff. But there was a news report this morning that, you know, of the possibility of him wanting to take more countries. And, you know, beyond the Ukraine is not NATO, but you get in the NATO countries and we're looking at some serious conflict. Mike, do you have any tips on form question? Any tips on form? I'm not sure what you mean, Mike. Mike has a follow-up. Here we go. Do you have any form cues for seated cable rows? Good question. When it gets heavy, just getting the weight into the starting position, you kind of have to use some leverage. But once you get the weight in the starting position, I lean back a little bit. I brace my torso. I don't sway my torso. When the arms come forward, there might be an inch or two, but I like to keep my torso nice and tight so I'm not pulling with my lower back. Now, I like the V-bar because with the V-bar, I can move my shoulders, and I want you guys just to sit here. Put your hands together like this, right? Put your hands together like that. Now, pretend you got a V-bar. Move your shoulders and elbows back at the same time while pressing your hands together. Okay, press your hands together and move your shoulders and elbows back at the same time. You can feel that back working. I like to pull it nice and controlled, and I like to let it down nice and controlled. So that's the main thing. It doesn't have a big range of motion. So you want to get some volume out of it. You want to make sure you're controlling it. It's an exercise you can get super strong at, but you want to make sure you get super strong with good control and maybe a little bit more volume than you do on other back exercises. It doesn't have a big range of motion. So a lot of times I will do an extra set or maybe an extra 2 sets. And it's pretty easy to recover from. Robert, the amount of money I would spend on my home gym, I may as well rent property and make a business out of it. You know, that's funny you mentioned that. I probably have put like 10 grand into my home gym. And, you know, I've thought about it, like with all the equipment I have, I'm like 4 or 5 pieces away from having a nice small gym. But yeah, at that point, you might as well just triple your outlay and making a business out of it, right? I don't know though. You know, thinking about it, I would rather have spent 10,000 on my home gym than you know, all the money you waste on lattes and, you know, pizza nights and all that kind of stuff. It's a good investment. I don't have any room for any more equipment. If you guys saw, I got basically three rooms. One's a garage space, and you know, one's an office space where I have my 2 ellipticals and then my main space. If you saw how cramped it is with equipment, sometimes you're stepping over one machine to do another, but I love it. I have the flexibility. And I hope some of you, if you guys are ever in the Ohio area, you're more than welcome to come. Let me beat the living crap out of you, or vice versa, right? All right, Parthaban. Thoughts about Boston? Are you talking about Boston Lloyd? Is that his name? If so, that's a name I haven't heard in like 5 years. So I'm not sure if there are any modern late shenanigans. If so, I'm just behind the curve on that. Harut, how's it going? Home workouts for the last 6 months with no real equipment, basically torture. Can't wait to hit the gym on the 14th. Where are you at, Harut? You have basically 2.5 weeks, so I hope things go well and they do not change things for you. Vinny P. Oh, we got 87 people on at the same time. Thank you, guys. Let's see if we can get that number to 100. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. I'm trying to climb up to 100,000 subscribers. It's arbitrary. I don't really care about numbers, but you know, I've been doing this for 10 years, so it'd be kind of cool. Vinny P is a client of mine. How's it going, Vinny? Getting crushed at work this week. Only managed 1 session. Thoughts on partial sessions? Yeah, partial sessions are good. One thing, Vinny, is, and I want everybody here to understand this, it is better to do a partial session than it is to do nothing. Now, you can cut down sessions to 2 or 3 a week and do hold steady workouts, but you can also cut down sets. Just because you're in the gym doesn't mean you need to do the full load. I tell some of my clients, you having a bit like students that are in school have, you know, an intense period where they have to study, or somebody that's working 12-hour shifts for a week. You can, whoops, how did I do that? You can cut your sets down to 2 per exercise, or even 1 per exercise, or drop your isolations or assistance work down to 1 per exercise, and just try to maintain. Get in and out in 30 minutes. Nicholas, after 37 years of training, what do you have left to accomplish in the gym? Wow, I want to be in the best shape of my life, Nicholas. You know, that's a big goal. Like where I was at 238 or 240, you know, before I took up running, that's pretty good shape. You know, pretty good shape. It was the best shape of my life. But I want to get 30 pounds deeper, you know, fat. And I want to be able to, at age 55, 30 pounds deeper than that. And you guys got to understand, I got about 10 pounds of loose skin from when I was a hippo. I'm calling myself a hippo. Right. So I want to be able to run a 50K and to be able to bench 225 by 20, squat 315 by 20, deadlift 600 while being in that condition. So I have a lot of big goals. There are things I definitely have not accomplished. Sebastian, how do I increase hip flexor flexibility? I have no idea. I mean, I'm not dismissing it. I am not a flexibility expert. I try to stay in my lane. But with that said, a lot of people come to me and they think they have issues with flexibility on squats or deadlift when it's really the form that's causing the perceived issues. So I'll need to know a little bit more. Rico, what's a program of yours for powerlifting? Trying to get the big three lifts better. Everything of mine is for powerlifting in off season, Rico. But with that said, let me go over to my website, superlivingtoday.com. And if you go over to superlivingtoday.com, and I don't know if you guys can, there's a workouts tab in the menu. And I'm looking at it right now. There's a lot of good options for strength. The 28-day power building cycle. Let me see if I can screen share with you guys. Hold on a minute, guys. I want to, how can I, Let me see if I can do this. I'm trying to open up a new tab. So 1 second. Why didn't you load? All right, here we go. Don't go away. All right, that's screen share. And massive iron workouts, allow. I think we got her. So over there, you can see we have the massive iron 28-day power building cycle, the brute force power building HVI, the massive iron push-pull legs, the torso limb split, the double progression workout, the massive iron AB. This one's a good one, the massive iron 5x5. And what else do we got here? What do we got? Those are probably your best. Workouts for building strength. Most of my workouts are strength building workouts. In the off season, you have to go through a strength building. You have to go through an off season. So Rico, if you ever want a custom workout, let me know. I have that service as well. Nicholas, would burning off 300 to 400 calories a day on cardio machines let me eat the same back and stay at weight? It certainly would, but you have to make sure that you are sincerely and honestly tracking your calories. So there are people, the issue here is that if you don't track your calories, people that exercise tend to eat a little bit more. I think there have been some studies that have showed this, that let's say your maintenance level is 3,000 and you burn off 300 running, you would think your new maintenance level, if you add that into the mix, you would think your new maintenance level is 3,300. If you do it intuitively, you might eat 3,400, 3,500. There's been research that I believe shows that people overcompensate. So the only thing at the end of the day, and I want you guys to remember this, the only thing that matters at the end of the day is what the scale says and what your calories say. If the scale is going up, you need to pull back on your calories. Doesn't matter if your watch says you get 3 or 4 more hundred, and you should be at maintenance level. You're not at maintenance level if the scale is going up. So the scale is king. Philo, can I post? You absolutely can. James Patel, I'm on track with calories till I go to bed, and then I can't fall asleep quickly. What makes me bored hungry? Which makes me bored hungry, so I eat any food. Well, I would hope you wouldn't get out of bed to eat. Are you going to bed hungry, James? That's what I would need to know. If so, you need to transition some of your calories to the evening and eat less during the day. And this is something a lot of people do not want to do. But you should never go to bed hungry. It can be disruptive when it comes to your sleep. Too many people eat too many snacks and too many calories before 5 p.m. You're better off saving at least half of your daily calories, if not more, for after 5, What I do is I generally eat 1,000 calories for dinner, and then I save about a 300 calorie snack for before bed. I eat 2 Greek yogurts, some raspberries, and some blackberries, and that's 1,300 calories or so. But I don't eat a lot during the day, 500 to 800 calories. That's something you're going to need to adjust, and it'll help you sleep. Invisible, I put more pressure on my right leg when I squat. I don't think I have a muscular imbalance, but since my legs are the same size. All right. So when you're squatting, you're putting more weight or more pressure on one side. The best advice I can give you as a starting point, and this is not going to be a solution for everything, but this is a starting point, is when you squat, think about driving your butthole straight down to the ground. As you're squatting, don't think about moving your hips back. Think about driving your butthole straight down to the ground. That'll help you stay more centered. So if you're focused on that, you're going to be kind of not shifting to one side. And if you are still able to notice pressure on one leg or the other, doesn't matter. Film your squats. As long as your form's good, as long as you're not shifting, that focus, driving your butthole straight down to the ground, that focus should keep you centered, should keep you from shifting. And then if you perceive any difference, it's not going to matter. Just get strong. Getting strong is a cure for 99% of things. Ian, how to know that I'm going to fail on the next squat rep? That's a very good question. I've only failed in the gym twice on squats. If you get to the point in a rep where it felt harder than the last rep, like a little bit more grindy, that's a good time to stop. You usually have a couple more, gun to head, you have a couple more reps. When obviously, as you're doing a squat set, it's very fatiguing, and you might lose your breath. You might feel a little bit winded. You might have to catch your breath for a couple of seconds at the top of a rep. But if you do one and you feel your form is a little bit off, or it's a little bit grindy, that's a good time to stop. All right. LKJ at 2. I've heard that after 5 hard sets, there's significantly diminishing returns on how much muscle you gain. That's nonsense. That's one study and one man's opinion. The meta-analysis, and Faz and I were just talking about this week. The meta-analysis of this shows that there's a difference. The volume of what we understand about hypertrophy when it comes to sets over the course of a week, volume is equated over the course of a week. You're going to need more than 5 sets per day. If not, we'd be doing 15 sets per week, and that's it. Boom, bam, boom. That's not enough to cover all the muscles in the body. It's not enough to cover your chest and your shoulders and your back and your hamstrings and your quads and your arms and your traps and your calves and everything. You can't. That is absolutely not true. Dave, TRX is pretty awesome. Yeah, it's something I have. You can do TRX rows, TRX push-ups. You can use them in supersets. Pretty good addition to the gym. For beginners, full body 3 times a week, bench, squat, row, deadlift, pull-up, overhead press, Optimal doesn't exist. Optimal is consistency and progressive overload and attacking your workouts. Would I consider only barbell stuff optimal, though? Let's toss the word optimal out. Is it best? No. It's not best. You need to get some dumbbell work in there. For what is best for beginners is machines and dumbbells. And I'm not telling you not to do barbell work, but there is going to be adapting not just to form, but your central nervous system. It's going to take a while for you to adapt your body, form, and central nervous system to squats, to deadlift. Okay? It's going to take a while. It's going to take longer than you think. So if you're a beginner and you want to come straight out of the gate, I'm not telling you not to do barbell exercises by any means, but you need to have dumbbells and machines. You need to have a balance between all three. Then you also need isolation work. I was actually going to make a video about this this week. There was a study, and I believe it was James Krieger was talking about it on Instagram this week, where it shows that for tricep growth, they just looked at tricep growth, so you can export this concept to anything you want. They did bench only. They did the tricep exercise before bench. They did the triceps exercise after bench, and then they just did the triceps exercise. The group that had the greatest amount of triceps growth was the group that did the bench first and then the tricep exercise afterwards. A lot of people are like, when I get to the tricep exercise, I'm fried, or I don't think I need isolation exercise. I don't think I need direct work. That single study, and that's only one study, so take it for what it's worth, but you can lay that side by side with all the practical in-gym evidence we have of a myriad of lifters and decades of lifters doing their heavy set and then their isolation work, and we kind of see they're on the same track. So for beginners, you need to do barbell, dumbbell, and machines, and you need to do isolation work. And that is the best for muscle building. And if anybody tells you differently, they have a bias. They are not interested in opening their mind, right? They're not interested in opening their mind to what other hypertrophy and muscle building coaches are processing. I am certainly not the most scientific, but I connect every single day with what is going on in the science world because I take what I do seriously. Now, over the years, I've been very much against strong lifts and starting strength for beginners. Now, everybody, like 10% of people come back and they say, those are strength programs. Well, you know what? I'm not an idiot. I coach. Nearly everybody that comes to me wants muscle. And you know what programs nearly everyone has used? Strong lifts and starting strength at some point. People are using these types of programs, and this is a good example, to try to build muscle. Now, you could say, he's just trying to build strength. Well, if you're trying to build strength, muscle is the platform for strength. That's science as well. Muscle is the platform, the facilitator, the thing that opens the door. It's your foundation for strength. Even in advanced lifters, building muscle has benefit. It opens doors to new strength. So there is no room, in my opinion, for anybody, whether they just want strength, to do these types of programs. I do not believe in them, and I do not believe they are optimal. So I hope that helps. Man, period. Thoughts on one set of an isolation 3 days a week, 6 days a week as a short-term hypertrophy specialist. That would only be 6 sets, and I wouldn't really call that a specialization program. Forget all the overthinky stuff, the muscle protein synthesis and the maximizing sets. That's only 6 sets a week. I do that now, and that's kind of the minimal level for like biceps. That's already part of a good program. So I wouldn't really call that a specialization program. That's pretty much like the normal. That should be part of a normal program, not 3 days a week. We're looking at volume equated over the course of a week, right? So that's 6 sets a week. And that should be about where you're at, minimal for like biceps, etc. already. On a specialization program, you would add in more volume and maybe pull it off something else. So if you wanted to specialize, say, biceps for 3 or 4 months, you would add in more sets, not a ton. You're not trying to kill yourself, but you would add in more work, more focus work, maybe a greater variety of exercises, drag curls and easy bar 21s and run the rack, run the stack, and all kinds of craziness to really put pressure on growth. But you would kind of pull back, take that volume from somewhere else. Maybe you chill on triceps for 3 or 4 months. All right, Mike. If I have access to a leg press machine and a hack squat machine, which one would be more beneficial? Both. As a starting point, both. If you have two exercise variations, the best option is to always start with both. See what your body likes, see what feels good. If they're both kind of okay, then keep them both. What I did over the years, this was in forever. Back before the science caught up with it, was sometimes you do hack squats one week, sometimes you do leg press the next. That's fine. That's what I would do. I did T-bar rows this week. Next week I'm doing barbell rows. I alternate between the two. I alternate between dumbbell rows and machine rows. Exercise variety is a good thing because they seem like similar movement patterns. They seem like similar movements, but every variation is slightly different. So if you stack them all together, and we don't need to do 20 exercises per body part per week, we need some variation. We don't just need one or two like deadlifts and pull-ups, in the previous example. But if we have 5 or 6 and we alternate in a couple favorites, all of a sudden we have room for 6, 7, 8 exercises over the course of 2 weeks that we can work hard and progress at. And that well-rounded base is my favorite thing for hypertrophy. But with that said, a caveat: if you have an exercise that you don't know, that doesn't feel good, you might just not like the piece of exercise equipment, right? Because all leg presses and hack squats are different. There's so many different types of machines. So if you don't like that specific machine, then just dump it and try something else. Corey, no, you won't have the 3D look at that leanness. What's going on, Eric? Eric from Florida. Dave, I heard Louis Simmons say that if your sumo deadlift is significantly less than your conventional, it means your hips are weak. Well, one thing Louis talked about when it came to sumo deadlifts is that he was telling a story, and somebody can correct me if I'm wrong if they heard the same story, about a very strong sumo deadlifter that tried pulling off the ground like 3 inches, and he was much weaker. So Dave, what I have found, sumo or conventional, and there's no way for me to know necessarily that your hips are weak, but what I have found with a broader stroke, and I hope this helps some, because I'm not in the business of looking at a lifter and saying, your hips are 72%, your quads are 58%, your glutes are 73.5%. Like, this is weak, that is weak. I'm in the business of getting everything strong, right? I'm in the business of assuming everything is weak. How can we get it stronger? That's my game. That's my game. That's the game. That's the game I'm gonna be buried with. That's my strength game. So, because I don't know for certain, there are some people you know. There are some people you know for certain. But most people, there's too much complication and too much crossover to specifically say this, that, or the other thing is weak. So where I was going with this, Dave, is that sumo or conventional, and Louis experienced this, and I experienced this back in 2009 or 2008 when I first started rack pulling, is that I was much weaker pulling off the ground 3-4 inches than I was from the floor. And nearly to a man and woman, 90% of my clients experience the same thing, whether it's sumo or conventional. So the only thing I could say for any of you deadlifters is that it's a good idea to combine at some point to get up your rack pull strength. I really worked my rack pull strength and my lockout hard after that point. Hard. There is a video at Tiger Fitness where I was training with Terry Bryan, ex-West Sider, and he had a competition on a Saturday. I believe it was before the Super Bowl. and he was giving away $100 of money, whoever could do the strongest lockout. I believe we got the 860 with chains, pulling like, I don't know, 4 inches, 5 inches off the ground, 860 with chains or whatever. When I first started, that was 5 years ago, when I was about 49, I'll say. Me and Terry Bryan tied that day with about 860 lockout with chains. But the point I'm trying to make is back around 2008, when I discovered I was deadlifting 565 at that time, and I discovered 450 was feeling heavy with a rack pull or a block pull. So that is when I started to train racks and blocks and off the ground heavier, really working the overload. And I brought mine up nearly 350, if not more, pounds. So I'm not sure if that answers your question, Dave, or if that helps at all. But that's what I focused on. I assume everything's weak. I want to work everything. ZVXC Loof 4 or something. I have friends and peers who are Reuters, who are much smaller and weaker than you, even though they've been training for 10 hard years. Man, I meet people. This is the whole shtick of my channel. Trying to help people that are small and weak get bigger. Just because you take steroids doesn't mean you know how to train properly. They're not magic. A lot of these, and I call them clowns, and I'm not calling PED users clowns. So let's understand that. Clowns are people that are taking PEDs and they train awfully. That's a clown to me. They're trying to compensate poor training with drug use. Now, I know from experience, there are a lot of people taking orals that don't want to inject because injections are a whole nother level. There's a whole nother, it's a whole next level. And not a lot of people want to go to that level. So they'll be popping pills, orals, whatever, and training like crap. If you're training like crap I've seen some guys that take stuff that you can tell they take stuff, but they have weaknesses. But look, I've been around long enough. A lot of people are weaker than me. But here's what I can tell you. Back in the day, and I was talking with Faz about this, probably 12, 13, 14 years ago, or whenever it was, 12 years ago. When my first powerlifting meet, my total was around 1600. My first couple of meets, my total was around 1650. Back then, that was impressive. Right? I remember seeing like the top scores at the natural federations were like 1650 to 1750, maybe 1800 tops. Back then, there was only 82 or 83 guys in all of the sport of powerlifting that ever hit a 2,000-pound raw total. And now I'm going to address strength first, and then I'm going to get into size because that's crap. You've never seen me in person. You're assuming based on a picture. So we're talking strength. Back when I did my first meet, I hit, I don't know, a 1,600-pound total. They sent me straight to do a piss test right there. Straight to do a piss test. 3 people were getting tested that day. I had the biggest total. I got a piss test. On the forums I were at, I was accused of being a user. 1,600 isn't crap nowadays. You have 180-pound guys doing that stuff. Natural, right? So in the grand scheme of things, back in the day, I was a little bit ahead of the curve because I had been training for 25 years, right? Now, my second meet was 1653, and I look like a fat pile of gluttonous crap, and that's the truth. I was fat. I look like Farmer Jones, right? It looks ridiculous. Fat Farmer Jones. No offense to farmers, but I look like Fat Farmer Jones. I competed at that meet with Paul Carter, Pete Rubish, one of the top over 50 benches of all time, Marshall Johnson, the Lilla Bridges, all kinds of stuff, all kinds of guys. And the lifts they were doing then, super impressive. But they were like well above me. So strength. I'm strong. I would consider myself very strong, but I was never even at the level that was close to the best of the naturals. The best of the naturals at that time were 1700 to 1800, and I was 1600 to 1653 my first two meets before I lost weight. So that's the strength side of things. And there's a lot of people that are weaker than that, a lot. Let's not make any mistakes. That's a lot of strength. I'm not saying it's superhero strength, but that's a lot of strength, and very few people will ever get there. So no doubt, Reuters or not, getting to a nearly a 700-pound deadlift, that requires a lot of investment and a lot of form focus and a lot of hardcore training and a lot of extreme consistency and super consistency with diet. I trained fucking hard, and I took everything. So there was no off days. I went hard for a long time, right? A long time to get to that level. And I was lucky. I didn't get injured. Now, size. This is the one that kills me. I know a lot of Reuters who are much smaller than you. When somebody says this to me, they're assuming my size. You look at a picture of my arms, and this is something I've talked with Jeffrey Verity Schofield and Faz and a ton of other guys, right? Lean, 15 to 18% body fat. My arms are lucky if they're 17 inches. My arms are lucky if they're 17 inches. 15% body fat, they're likely to be 16 3/4. My quads are smaller than Jeffrey Verity Schofield's. They are. I guarantee they are. What I have going for me is I'm small boned. I have good insertion points. And I have what I would consider a very good look for bodybuilding. Now, something weird happened. When I lost 100 pounds, all of a sudden, I started to see a lot of vascularity in my forearms. It was really, really weird. But I will say, I spent like decades of my life doing a lot of physical manual labor. I worked for 3 or 4 years removing studs from engine blocks, manual cranking those suckers out. And like, I always say I didn't do much direct forearm work, but man, I did a lot of physical labor. So when I started to develop a lot of vascularity in my forearms, and then I started to get the vein in the old bicepticons, people would freak out. When I pump, my body, when I pump, like when I'm doing triceps, I have really big natural triceps. They look big. Again, my arms aren't even 17 inches when I'm lean, but my triceps look huge, right? And when I am working out or getting a pump, I think my arms go up an inch. So a lot of times I would take a picture back in the gym with full pump, and boy, did I look like a balloon man. But to end this long ramble before I chase all you guys away, I want you to understand something. I've been in the industry for a long, long time, and I've taken pictures with everybody from Jerry Ward to the Hodge twins to Ronnie Coleman to everybody. Everybody. And when it comes to these other guys, like I don't meet Chris Jones and he's much smaller than I am, right? I don't meet Alan Roberts and he's much smaller than I am. All the natty guys I've met that are top tier are right about where I'm at. Chris Jones has bigger arms. He's super lean, so he looks smaller. So I have the ability to be at like 240 and I carry my fat good. But understand, I also have 10 to 15 pounds of loose skin from when I was a flubitard. I got it under my armpits, and I don't walk around parading it, but it's reality. I was 346 pounds. I got some loose skin on my belly. If I had all that removed, I'd probably lose 10 to 15 pounds. That sounds like a lot, but it's really not. So really, when I was at 238 in my best condition, I was really around probably 223. So that's all I'm going to say. But there are not a lot. I had the same question last week, and I feel like I'm being trolled, right? Because the same question was asked last week, just in a different way. How come all the roid users are much weaker and smaller than you? They're not. Somebody's fishing here. So there you have it. Man, you made a video a long time ago saying muscle gains isn't a math formula. It doesn't require excess calorie. No, I did not say that. Oh, sorry, reasonable calories. I never said muscle building doesn't require an excess. Let's be clear for anybody reading. Now, I'm just backtracking. I'm not trying to be confrontational. I want to clarify. It requires an extra amount of calories, and they have to be reasonable. It's the same thing. Not excessive. We don't do fat bulks. Doesn't this contradict your lean bulking advice? No. I think you're just interpreting it wrong. I never am for a fat bulk. Never. I'm very much against excessive calories. I've never been for excessive calories. Reasonable calories and extra calories are the same thing. In excess of maintenance level and reasonable calories are the same thing. So the only time I have talked that I recall about eating a lot was a personal experience. I did a podcast with Alpha Destiny. And there are both, like, if you live for a while, there's going to be periods of time where you're eating more than ever. Maybe not on purpose or whatever. But the best strength and muscle gains I ever experienced, the best strength gains I ever experienced, and Alpha Destiny mirrored this, was when he was eating a lot more. So can you eat a lot more and build a lot of strength rapidly? Typically, yes. But it rams into a wall quick. You can't just go from 200 to 280 in a year. You're out of room, buddy. You can't go from 280 to 360 the next year. You could, but you're going to be dead soon. So we live in this contradiction where food can help us build strength rapidly, but it hits a wall much sooner. Does that make sense? So if you want to go from 200 to 360 over the course of 2 years, you would probably see crazy strength gains. But you'd also be buying a funeral plot. Now, on the other hand, if you go from 200 to 230 over the course of 2 years, you're going to see consistent strength gains, maybe hold on to your health, and you can cut a little bit. So, man, I hope I didn't sound like I was coming at you. But I want to clarify, I've never been for excessive calories. I've never been for, I don't push rapid calorie intake. I'm not for rapid gaining. Way back in the day when I started YouTube and when I started writing, I would tell people food is magic. Food is magic. And I ate like a tornado. My first 2 years of lifting, I did. And I went from 156 to 186, about 30 pounds in 2 years. I put on a lot of muscle mass. So I've been evolving my understanding of natural standards over time, but I've never been, like, even me talking about gaining 30 pounds in 2 years, if you're training hard, that's going to likely be okay because you're going to put on probably 20 to 25 pounds of muscle mass, maybe 20 to 22. Very little fat. So that would be okay. But I've never been for more than that. So I'm sorry for any confusion. Fosmeister General. I got lucky and kitted out a garage gym about 2 months before the first lockdown. Power rack Olympic weights, starting to build up hex dumbbells. Where are you at, Foz? Are you in the U.S. or are you overseas? Because I got a link I posted earlier about the Titan Fitness dumbbells for about $260. All right. Hour and 15 minutes in, I'm going to get a drink, and then we're going to rock on. All right, who's ready for another hour? So before we move on, guys, if you're new here, post up your questions. I'll stand as long as you guys got questions. We're going to have a long one today, so come back and watch if you have to go. Before I go any further, my website, superlivingtoday.com. Go over and get your workout. Go get your t-shirt. Go get your book, training log. This is what I do for a living. I appreciate your support. Please subscribe to my channel. And if you want coaching, $80 a month. I'm with you every single day. We call. We go over we watch your nutrition. We watch your weight. I monitor your workouts. I monitor your exercise form every single day. My clients can send 2 workout videos every single day. I can help you with form. We also have Team Massive, which is linked down below. Come on over and join our Team Massive. It's an exclusive team. We got a lot of people over there, and we'd love to have you over there. There's a cost to get in, but I pay $20, $25 a month to support the server. And the extra cost is you get free stuff, and you get form checks. So it's like micro coaching. Mike has shoulders and traps today. Sounds like a good plan. Upper push, second time this week. Hope you have a good workout. If you're relatively happy with your physique but would like to improve a bit, is it okay to just train hard at maintenance? No. Improvement will require extra calories. It's not a different game. Build muscle, extra calories. You don't want to get like, if you built a lot of muscle mass and you're just trying to refine, you're better off doing maybe a 2 to 3 month specialization program. Say you want to bring up your rear delts. 2 to 3 month specialization in a calorie surplus. You gain 5 to 7 pounds during that time. Then do a quick mini cut. Get your weight back to normal. You're good to go. Strength gains. How would you approach training, nutrition, fasting during the month of Ramadan to preserve as much muscle? Well, strength gains, I get this question a lot. Had a lot over the years. One thing I want you to understand, one thing you have going for you is that science tells us if you're training properly, that it is very hard to lose much, if any, muscle. So you don't have to worry. Even if you would, under extreme circumstances, lose a pound of muscle, it will come back. Muscle memory is your friend. So just know that. In the long run, what matters is your training consistency. So don't worry. How would I train during Ramadan? Well, that's a good question. I think a lot of it depends on your climate and the temperature. If it's hot, I would be hesitant to train first thing in the morning unless you might want to train first thing in the morning if it's cool. I'm not sure I could train after a long day. So if it's cool in the morning, you might want to train. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Fast as dawn to dusk. So I'm not sure what time you get up, but can you work out and drink while before the sun comes up? I would rather do that than to attack it after the sun goes down. But then again, when the sun's down and you're training, you can drink water. So you might feel a little bit flat. You might need to pull back on a set here or there. But I don't know. There's a lot of variables in that situation. I think it's individualized. Some people It depends on their work, their climate, how they feel. I've had insomnia since I was a teen, and then it was when I was in school later on, I was getting 2 hours of sleep a night. It's tough, but possible. If you only had 3 hours of sleep today, will I make better gains if I just do my workout tomorrow? No, don't overthink this stuff, guys. In the long run, none of this stuff matters. It's like throwing a fly at the sun. It's not gonna make much of a difference. Don't overthink this stuff. Train when you're supposed to train, and just keep your schedule. That's my best advice. Phoenix. Stein, have you ever tasted Rain energy drinks? Yes, I have, and I don't particularly care for them. Don't particularly care. They taste kind of weird chemically to me. I could drink them. I just like the way Monsters taste better. Dave, I'm looking forward to the new Batman after seeing Pattinson and Tenet and Lighthouse. Lighthouse is a brilliant movie. A brilliant movie. It's a little bit on the artsy side, but you can't have both. You can't cry that Hollywood's not doing anything creative and then have a very unique film like Lighthouse. So I don't think my wife liked Lighthouse, but I appreciated it as a piece of film, as a unique piece of film. And I know a lot of people will hate it. Why do a lot of the best athletes in the world party a lot and go clubbing? I wouldn't say that. Most people I know aren't into that lifestyle. I've been around football players, baseball players, golfers. I've had everybody come into, my office. I trained with Paul O'Neill, ex-Yankee. We used to have pro golfers come in, ex-football players, fitness fanatics. There's not a lot of partying. In baseball, maybe football, when you're on the road, I'm sure there is, because these guys are young and have a lot of money. So they're not necessarily, like, they train hard, right? But I read some stories I heard some stories on baseball podcasts, about, hey, you're a man, you make your own decisions. And if you blow things up, you blow your contract, that's on you. So, young, money, fame, attention, they're just human like the rest of us. But athletes, I don't know, we're a little bit different. And I hate to generalize. I think we just hear stories of the athletes that do this stuff. But I know there's a ton of them that don't. Olvi, I train full body twice a week to regain my strength. If I wanted bulk, should I eat at surplus every day? No, every day. There's no point in, if you want to gain weight and build strength, and trying to calorie cycle, because at the end of the week, what's going to matter is that your weight, or end of the month, what's going to matter is that your weight is up about 1.5 pounds to 2 pounds. And to get there, you're going to need to go to the same calorie average if you ate every day as opposed to cycling. So let me repeat. You're going to need, to gain about 1.5 pounds to 2 pounds a month. You could get there with straight calories every single day, same calorie average, or you can get there going up and down, right? You're going to come to the same calorie average and the same amount of weight gain over the course of a month. But with the up and down, you're going to have to deal with half your days in a deficit or less. So it's really pointless. Keep it steady. You are recovering on off days. You are building muscle 7 days a week. If you're training hard, something's always being repaired. So there's no point in cycling calories. All right, Troy, you're a comic fan, big hairy ugly dude? Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't call myself like a super nerd, like one of these guys that wants to live in mommy's basement, that type of thing. But when I was 5, I had my appendix out. I was pretty sick, and I remember being in the hospital. And my dad bought me 2 comic books. One was an ancient. This was in 1972. One was an old Fantastic Four, and I believe one was Tales of Suspense. And I was like every other kid. I would collect Marvel. I liked Spider-Man when I was a kid. He was kind of nerdy, and I connected with him a little bit. But back then, liking computers and video games and comics, you were kind of a nerd. But yeah, I like comic books, and I had a pretty good collection as a kid, what I could collect with my allowance. And now that I'm older, I'm trying to reconnect with the things I like baseball and comic books and baseball cards. I like to collect, like right here. I just got some stuff off eBay. I try to do, I'm an eBay thief. I don't care necessarily about quality as long as it's not shabby condition. But I like to collect marbles. Excited about any and all Batman movies. I got to say it. I want to hear what you guys have to think. I finally tried to watch Aquaman the other day. And holy raining shitballs, did I find it to be like a B movie for the first half an hour. We could not continue. If you like it, great. I'm not judging. All right. I love having a home gym. I have the high-low cable attachment on my rack for heavy pull-downs rows. Yeah, that helps a lot. I wouldn't have a home gym without it right now. Oi, hey, if I squat on one day with a progression approach nailed, good, but want to add a bit more on the second day, would you add? Well, that's okay as long as you have a progression approach. That's 6 sets of squats a week, which isn't going to kill you. I'm not against it. If you're in a commercial gym, though, I'd like to see you doing some other stuff for your quads. But at the end of the day, that's just a suggestion. Mike, I like going to the gym. I find it motivates me a little bit more. There are times when I go through that as well. I used to have an LA Fitness membership. I would cruise down LA Fitness. We would go in the morning, and then, it's kind of fun going into a gym at time and just having different toys and stuff. MG254 had everything I needed plus adjustable dumbbells. I went up to 90 to save space, but they were stolen because we share space with other tenants. Good God. Somebody got to work. I'm sorry to hear that. But in this day and age, that stuff is gold. You know what I mean? That's crazy. Mickey, I benched 80 kilograms for 8 reps, but can only barbell row 60 for 8. Does it imply a severe muscle imbalance? No. That wouldn't be severe. Even though you probably want them around the same, a lot of lifters don't attack barbell rows the same they do as bench. Now, here's what I mean. On the bench, and this is just the state of the modern fitness world, and I've talked about this endlessly for a while now. If you power a bar off your chest on the bench, very nice. If you perform a bench and you power the weight off your chest to get it up, because if you don't power it off your chest on the bench, it's not getting up. Very nice. If you power the weight off the ground or drive your elbows back on the barbell row, not very nice. You're cheating. That's the way lifting stink think goes. Make sure on barbell rows you're not jerking, you're not cheating, you're not flailing, you're not having a spaz attack, right? Make sure you drive your elbows back and power that weight. Feel that back work. Add some power. I've seen people that can bench 275, 300, and they get on their rows and they're like, did you take a sedative before that set? Did you take an anti-pre-workout? Like, you don't see guys going over the bench like, da, 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 da. It's a happy day, right? So, not a severe muscle imbalance. And I'm sorry if my humor is bad, guys. Not as severe at all. Just make sure you're driving it back. It's funny though regarding humor. If I don't use humor, you get like 2 comments like, "That channel is so boring," right? This channel is so boring. And then when you do use humor, like I don't know if it's my personality or the way I look, like you're being very aggressive and negative. So I made a post on Instagram yesterday because you see these fitness channels that start a website and start a fitness channel, and then they call themselves CEO of blah 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 fitness, right? That's fine. You can do whatever you want, but I'm going to share my opinion. You know, like the CEO of blah 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 fitness. Like you've been lifting for like 2 seconds and you made $10. You need to like slow down there, Elon. Just humor, right? Just making an observation and poking a little fun. Poking a little fun. Well, this generation doesn't like poking fun. Like, oh, you're just so insecure, right? Or you're so negative. If I do that like once a year, I get comments like that. So I took the post out. Good grief. All right, Woodulus list from Scotland. How are the sausages? Saw them twice a day. They're doing good. My dog, Mr. Very Noops, Mr. Snoops, Mr. Snoopy, is doing good. He sleeps right by my side every night. He's a good dog. MG254. I go to the gym now, but I have other stuff for those off days I want to get a workout in. $500 down the drain. Talk about heartbroken. That's right. I would be very upset as well. From your experience, has a pump ever hurt? Like hurt muscle gains? Not that I'm aware of. Has it hurt to the point where I don't want it? Yeah, I've had it. I've had the pump be intense to the point where I don't really want a pump, and that can be very muscle specific. You know, like I like a triceps pump. I'm not a pump chaser, right? I'm not a pump chaser. But I do like a triceps pump. You know, but if my biceps feel pumped, they feel awkward and like the tendons and connective tissue don't feel right. Tell them the truth. The best tips to improve bench press if form, diet, and sleep are all right. The best thing I could say, and I'm just being honest, I'm not being dismissive. First and foremost, head over to the main page of this website, or excuse me, of YouTube, my channel, and search bench press. You're probably going to find 100 videos on bench alone, just a world of information. So in a nutshell, be in a calorie surplus because people are at a maintenance or a deficit. They're going to struggle with their pressing. Get your triceps strong. Beat the living crap out of your triceps. They can handle a lot more work than you think. Attack your shoulders with a dumbbell and barbell overhead press every week. No excuses. About 6 sets pushed hard. So you got your shoulders going. You got your weight gain going. You got your triceps going. And on bench, do your dumbbell and barbell variations. Both, doesn't matter if your dumbbell is incline or flat, don't really care. That is a base platform, and beyond that, we can get pretty complicated. Skip. Could you please do a video on rest pause and talk about sets and reps and rest times, please? I haven't talked about rest pause in a while, so it'd be a good topic, to kind of come through it and rehash it a little bit and give you guys some ideas. So I'll put it on the to-do list. Sebastian, I asked about the hip flexors because I struggle to get my back in a straight position from the setup. Setup on what exercise, Sebastian? Are you talking deadlifts? Eric, like and subscribe for no nonsense, real usable information. Thank you. I know it may not be ideal, but I care a lot about staying very lean. I'm going to be honest. A 50 calorie surplus? No, that's ridiculous. I'm just being honest. This is stuff I've seen over the years that guys that weigh 130 pounds, 135 pounds say. You are being unreasonable, and I'm just telling you this because I care. You're being unreasonable. What's a 50 calorie surplus going to do? You're not going to build muscle with that. You don't have to get fat to build muscle. You can go from 160 to 180, 130 to 150 and stay lean. Because staying lean, listen to me. Body composition, you have muscle and you have fat. You have muscle and fat. So if you are at 15% body fat and you gain 5 pounds of muscle and 1 pound of fat, you're still at 15 pounds of body fat. Now, if you look super shredded, you can still do bulking and cutting cycles and you're not going to gain that much fat. But a 50 calorie surplus is, I'm telling you because I care. It's completely unreasonable and it's going to kill any hope of building muscle. And I'm telling you because I care. And I'm telling you, if you were sitting right next to me, you need to get your head out of your ass. Because you're trying to do the impossible. You're trying to create something that's impossible. Maybe if I go 5 calories over maintenance. Like, it doesn't work. It's not a scale. Like, let's bring the calories down as low as we can to maintenance and train hard. All you're going to accomplish is not building muscle and staying lean. If that's what you want, might as well just go to maintenance level. James, Yuma, Arizona. Raphael, I've joined the 5 a.m. club. Yeah, it's I've been there myself many times. I need to get the 5 a.m. club rolling now because after a long day of work, I don't really feel much like lifting. MG254, seated leg press for alternating lunges. Does feet position matter to target different? Nah, don't do that stuff. Like, you moving your foot around on the pad on leg press. All you're going to do, like, knee angle and foot angle should be pretty much the same thing to keep stress off the knees and the joints and the hips and all that kind of stuff. Not a big fan of that at all. If so, can I progressive overload with knees over toes on the pad? Leg press, your knee alignment and your foot alignment should be about the same. But I'll just leave it at that. Regardless of where you place your feet, what your knee angle is. Like, I have people that squat that do this. Well, that's fine, but now your knee angle has to match, your foot angle has to match that knee angle. Does that make sense? Christos, best 3 exercises for guitar bar chord strength improvement. Practice, practice, practice on guitar. The only thing I found better for strength on guitar is playing more guitar. And I'm not saying there's strength exercises that wouldn't help. But the only thing I found, and I'm no expert, is playing guitar is the more I play, the better I feel. Matt Cat, I dropped hacks for my routine due to knee pain. Are regular squats enough? Is one exercise ever enough? No. Is one exercise ever the best choice? No. If you're experiencing knee pain on hack squats, there's a good chance some of that could be form driven. So don't rule that out. I'm not telling you to rush back to hack squats. But that could be from form. Now, that aside, maybe it's not from form, but the question is, are squats enough? No. Not if you want good muscle. You need some exercise variety. How much less bicep growth if I train reverse curls compared to standard curls? These types of questions are non-questions, right? How much happier would I be if I married J-Lo as instead of, I don't know, insert your insert somebody equivalent. Who knows? But it's a non-question, really, because when you're looking at muscle building, biceps, you're going to have multiple exercises. So you're going to have a multiple prong attack. Now, are you saying are reverse curls less optimal than standard curls? Well, I will say this. I would not advocate a program where you only did a reverse curl and no dumbbell or barbell or easy bar or cable curls or anything with the palms facing you. So you can do reverse curls, but you still need a dumbbell curl, a barbell curl, a cable curl, something where the palm is facing you. Does that make sense? For isolations, I find doing 30 press reps easier to progress on. May the force be with you. Either way, it's going to cap out quick. I'm going to be honest with you. You're going to cap out quickly. Probably, I don't know. I was going to say faster. But true isolations like side laterals and dumbbell bench, they're going to cap out quick, super quick. So it doesn't really matter. Do I like them? Yes. Do I personally believe 30 plus reps is a better way than more moderate reps? No, I don't. I like rest pause and doing like my bulldozer protocol where you're doing 5 sets with like 15 seconds of rest in between. Then you can add up the reps in that grouping and you can try to improve. But I don't like 30 reps in one set, but that's personal choice. It's not going to increase or decrease hypertrophy, nor will it particularly increase or decrease the rate at which you hit the hard wall. Look, I've been training for 37 years. I don't have a 150-pound side lateral raise. You're going to hit a hard wall on that stuff either way you go. Does that make sense? What's going on, Bilal? Happy Friday. Do you own a gym? I own a home gym. Robert Federer and LeBron claim to sleep consistently 12 hours every night. Are they full of crap? I would think so. Well, I mean, I think they try to get a lot. They might try to get a lot of sleep. You know, it's hard, I think, after about 10 hours a day to have a productive day and, get more than 10 hours. But I don't know. It could be full of crap. Steve's point on machines for beginners. My back is weaker than my legs, so my squat suffers, but able to leg press over 500. Yep, a beginner wants to have some variety. Alexander. BHUD, I'm doing stuff like 8 to 12 sets, body weight, pull-ups, dips, crunches, and stuff with like easy sets of 5 to 7 RIR, and on the last set I'm doing plus set, what do you call it, junk volume. Well, if all you're doing is body weight, I mean, what's your goal, really? That's the foundational question. What's your goal? To build muscle? It's going to be very hard with body weight stuff. The best way is body weight and machines and dumbbells and barbells. So if you do body weight because you enjoy it, great. I have a good friend, McAnimal, who does body weight stuff and just crazy good at it. But he gets crazy good at specific movements, and I don't know that he does specific sets and reps. And I won't even know what 5 to 7 RIR is. To me, that'd be like doing 2 reps and quitting. I don't know what the end goal is, Alexander, so I need to know more. So, Boston Lloyd passed away. Is that correct? I have not heard. Let me see. Anybody know the circumstances? Oh, 2 hours ago, breaking news. Boston Lloyd passes away at 29. Heart attack, believed to be the culprit. Had stage 5 kidney failure. Well, there's going to be a lot of speculation. And I won't go that route, it's always a bad day when anybody on this planet leaves the earth way too young. With that said, I don't know anything about the guy personally. Sorry to hear it for his family. And there's a lot of years ahead of him. I agree with you, but with work being... Okay, this is a personal discussion. Felix, favorite pre-workout? I like the Chris Jones one. No, you're probably going to laugh. The, what's it called? Pump Chasers or whatever. Tiger Fitness, Chris Jones didn't formulate it. Tiger Fitness did, obviously. But I always found it to be a solid pre-workout. I always used Pump Chasers. Is that what it's called? Pump Chasers? I feel weird just saying that because I'm not a pump chaser. It's just a weird title. But it's Chris Jones's world, right? Pump Chaser pre-workout, is that what it is? Pump and Grind. Pump and Grind, that's my favorite. I didn't get this stuff for free at Tiger Fitness. I had to buy it. And I always found over and over again, I got, just good quality workouts. Andre, at 56, 6'3", 225, 48-inch chest, this weight loss thing, my body just doesn't want to go below 220. I can lose, but man, that's low. Yeah, you're kind of in that tweener stage, Andre. Do you lift is the first question. Are you lifting 3 times a week? That's a good starting point. And how are your daily steps? Are they below 5,000? If they are below 5,000, you probably need to step it up a little bit to 7,500. But I don't know. Andre, you can hit me up on Instagram, @the if you need more help. And if you want personal help, consider coaching. It's $80 a month, and I can do all the hard work for you now. I would need to know things like, are you tracking calories 100%? Are you writing everything down that you bite, et cetera, et cetera? Rob, everything but chest going up. Chest is slow. Well, I will say, Rob, a lot of people have unrealistic expectations when it comes to natural chest growth. They see Arnold with these big, fluffy, juicy, spectacular chesticles, and they want the thing. Well, chest is a pretty flat, unspectacular muscle group, and the really only judgment of chest development is, when you're leaner, on the leaner side. There's a lot of guys that assume they don't have, and I'm not saying this is your case, Rob, because I don't know. I've never seen you naked, and I hopefully never do. No offense. But, how is your leanness? What are your chest-specific exercises? For a lot of guys, it's just bench. I'd need to know a little bit more. Chad, love my home gym. The only thing I don't have is a leg press. I would say, Chad, go over to Titan Fitness and check out the leverage squat. I love mine. And it's like 630, 640. And right now, gun to head, if you have a home gym, it's going to be half the price. And you can get a leverage squat and a leg extension, leg curl for the same price as a leg press. Body weight and arm size, are they connected? Absolutely. The fatter you are, the bigger your arm is going to be. Heavier guys have bigger arms just because they have more fat. Dave Argentino. I've never seen a 260-pound guy with 13-inch arms. Let's put it that way. Dave, thanks for a response about Louis, about Simmons, sumo, and conventional. Sounds like the only difference is the why of it, not the solution. There's sometimes Dave, we try to, I'm not against trying to assess weaknesses, right? So don't get me wrong. Certainly not against trying to assess weaknesses. But a lot of people that haven't built a lot of strength assume a weakness. Well, yeah, it probably is weak, and everything else is weak. So I don't really try to spend much time speculating at all. I try to focus on just treating everything like a weakness. Robert, I'm 6'3", 195 right now, eating 3,000 plus just to maintain. Are you sure you're actually eating this little? How do you track your food? You're talking to Andre Robin. That's between you guys. In a recent clinical trial, forearms with PD versus naturals, non-lifting PD users gain about 30 pounds on their squat at 16 weeks. Well, that's one study. And look, 30 pounds. I'm going to be honest, and I'm going to swear. I don't like to swear a lot during live because I don't know. There's so many people watching, and I don't know where you guys are at. But 30 pounds ain't shit. And these are probably relatively, I don't know. I would have to learn more. Inexperienced lifters, that doesn't mean much. Like if you train with me, we're going to get 30 pounds in 16 weeks. Who cares? Who cares? They're both lifting. Anyway, I don't really care what other people do. And I'm just sharing my opinion. And we each are entitled to your opinion. I'm not trying to bully my opinion on you. But in this world, it's not an easy life. We all face our own problems and circumstances and, family issues and relation issues and job stress and financial stress. And in the recreational world, what people do, I don't particularly care about. The whole natty, not natty thing, I don't care. Do what you want to do. I really simply don't care. And I'm not telling you that if you care, you shouldn't care. I don't really care. It's, there are certain things that impact a society, like meth users wandering the streets or homeless that might be mentally ill, that need help, blah, blah, blah. But I don't really care. Strength respects strength. This is my philosophy. Strength respects strength. Effort should respect effort at a baseline. You don't have to like people doing PEDs, but somebody, and this goes for any endeavor, writing, painting, bowling, whatever. To get to the top level of a craft, and I've gotten there with editing and writing and a couple things in my life, it requires a lot of effort. So I respect the process and the people that chase the process. And I don't care if somebody squats 30 more pounds than me because I take, turkey steroids, right? I don't care. Andre, you guys are having a private conversation. Try not to do that in the comments if you guys don't mind. Are cooldowns necessary? Cooldowns are necessary, and this is going to sound facetious a little bit, because if you didn't cool down, you'd stay in a position where your body temperature was always up and you were super stimulated. A cool down, your body's going to cool down either way. That's the silly point I was trying to make. Are cool downs necessary? No. My cool down after 2 hours, 3 hours of running is to walk to the car. What is beneficial is to get some food and water in your body and start the recovery process. Robert, all right, you guys are still going at it. Crazy bulk sounds fun, but you can't do it for long enough. It's a waste, right? You can't do it. And most people aren't training hard enough to get value out of it. Last live you said you would, how your arms are really long, but no one can tell, but you didn't show any pics. I got a lot of pictures. Let me. How your arms are really, yeah, that's a deadlift picture. There's a picture of me when I was in a tank top, and let me see if I can find it real quick. There's a picture I have on Facebook in a tank top, and I'm like 22, and I look like I have gorilla arms. And I believe let me just search Tang. I'll search photos. I forgot about it. And if somebody reminds me on Instagram via DM, I should be able to find it. Can I find it in 2.3 seconds without chasing everybody away? No, I can't. I got so many pictures on Facebook, it would just take forever. But when I look at that picture, I think I shared it with Faz once, but that's probably gone. So I'll try to find it. If somebody reminds me on Instagram, you can see in that picture my arms are naturally a little bit longer. It wasn't a troll question. Greg just said the average juicer barely looks like they lift. Oh, that's true. Okay, that's fair enough. And I'm not, it's hard to tell sometimes. Like in my world, doing YouTube, I never expected it to get this big. And there's always 10% of comments people are trolling, or, what are you, 5'6", or you're bald, or you're fat, or you're weak, or whatever. Mickey Chan, rest in peace, Boston one. All right, Nicholas. Verity Schofield recently said he's bulking and eating at times ice cream and pizza. I wish I had a problem getting in calories. That's fine. Jeffrey's got it. He won't do a fat bulk. So, and he'll return back to normal. That's fine as long as you keep it under control. Mystery judge, jury, executioner. Is it possible to adapt to training hard with a lack of sleep and decent but not perfect nutrition? I'm missing out on the benefits of both. Decent nutrition is fine. Life is about balance, and 80% of your nutrition being good, that's fine. But I would, you want to maximize your nutrients, especially if you're somebody that can't eat a lot. Like if you're somebody that has a 3,500 calorie maintenance level and 80% of your nutrition is good, well, then all of a sudden, you have like 2,750 calories of good quality nutritious foods. If you're like the last commenter that said he's holding steady at 2,000, then you have 1,600 calories of nutrient dense food. So, if you have more of a calorie maintenance, like a higher calorie maintenance level, you part of your struggle is just going to be getting in the calories. Do the best you can, but decent is good enough. Eric, I'm having trouble improving an accessory lift with sets across. Would rep goal be beneficial? It's always beneficial to try something new. You'll learn something in worst case. But we need to understand that like back off exercises or assistance exercises or isolation or semi-isolation exercises, progress will always be super slow. That doesn't mean there's not benefit. I talked earlier about the study, which is better for tricep size, bench only, triceps exercise only, bench and then triceps exercise, or triceps and then bench. And the best for triceps was the combination of bench and then a triceps exercise. So what that tells us is even if your assistance work isn't really progressing rapidly, there's a good benefit to stacking it with compounds. So just be patient. Which massive iron 5-day program would you suggest for my strong 22-year-old son? Andre, I would have to learn more. What's his weight? What are his lifts? How good is his form? Where does he train? How is he with squats and deadlifts? I'm not trying to be dismissive, but if you go over to Instagram at Ben the Barman, or you email me, benthebarman@gmail.com, I would be happy. Just get a little bit more information and point you in the right direction. All right. Nicholas, Simon Miller just did an awesome top 10 Batman films in his opinion. Check it out. Will do. Thank you, sir. I'll watch that during dinner tonight. Purple and white monsters all the way. I don't like white. I don't like white. I like red. Red's my second choice, but I won't judge. White's my fourth choice. Just love these lives. Thank you, sir. Straight up perfect, straight up fitness and training and nutrition with off topics. Thank you. I appreciate it. The biggest struggle for me, we just hit the 2 hour mark, is like, wow, there's so many questions and I love it. Keep it coming. But like at a point, you're like, your brain, I started to get hungry after like 2 hours. Like right now, I'm like, oh, my stomach, and I'm like a little bit thirsty. So trying to stay in the lane. All right. It's hard just talking for 2 hours. Round 2, 2 hours in, lock and load. Let's go. Bill Monte. Been trying to post all live and fail. I don't know what it is with YouTube, man. You think when a company has a Google $1 trillion, they can figure this stuff out, right? You would think. Have you seen the new Spider-Man? No. We seen the last Spider-Man. We really loved it. And I've been actually, having been a Spider-Man fan growing up, some of the Spider-Man movies disappointed me to the point where I was like, I don't even want to watch the new ones. But we finally watched the second to last one, not the new one that's coming out on digital. And both my wife and I liked it. Yeah, at least LOL. As far as home gyms, it's my dream to have one if I ever move out of my apartment. Yeah, like me, I've been looking at houses because in a couple of years I'm probably going to move out of the city and something more rural. I want to semi-retire. I'm going to be still doing this stuff and coaching, but I just want to dial it down a little bit to about 50% on the coaching side. But you can find a lot of good properties if you just are patient outside of the big city. And I don't want to be too far from a big city, right? I want to be able to go to a baseball game within 30 minutes or whatever. But, out where I'm in Ohio, close to Cincy, you can find some good properties within 30 minutes that have some decent space for a gym. We saw a property in the city for $350,000 or $325,000 that had a back building, like an old work shed that was like the size of, you could put a really hardcore powerlifting, old school bodybuilding gym in. It was just huge. It was all part of the house. And like, we put an offer in, but somebody beat us, but we really wanted that property just to have our own big gym space. Eric Redbeard, Aquaman was not great, but it was worth watching. Yeah, alone, just me in the room, I would watch it to the end. But when my wife is there, if she's not in it the first half an hour, I got to pull. We got that one already. Charles Thompson. I'm new at this and I want to gain muscle mass, but stay lean at the same time. Go to my website, superlivingtoday.com, and I'm going to show you guys how to do this, okay? Super Living Today. All right, ready? I'm going to show you how to find this. If you guys want to build muscle and stay lean, here's the way to do it. Okay? Go over to my website, and here's the search thing up here, okay? Search bulk. Just search bulk. Right here, you see this? Massive bulking. Massive bulking tells you how to bulk and stay lean. Now it is 14,484 words, okay? It's a lot of words. That is about the size of 14 to 15 articles. And it completely covers how to bulk from everybody that's underweight to people that are overweight. Overweight. If you're overweight, you can bulk using this as well. I show you how to get there. I show you. It's a body composition, a complete body composition book. So check that out over at my website, Super Living Today. It's one of the best things I've put out. And I'm not patting myself on the back. I just really love the content in that. I think it's super helpful. I wish I had that 25, 30 years ago. As a beginner doing the full body 3 times a week with compounds, if I want to do some isolation work at the end, with 2 sets, would it be enough? You want to look at weekly volume. So 2 sets for a day, that's six sets a week for biceps and triceps. Don't worry so much about the rep range. 10 is good. The rep range is more exercise specific. So adopt the rep range that feels best for that exercise. But yeah, in general, that'll be fine as long as you're working hard and progressing. Nicholas, do you think the criteria for beginning, intermediate, and advanced is based on strength only? No, absolutely not. When I am judging somebody, I look at where are your strength levels, where is your consistency, where is your form, and where is your nutrition. I'm looking at the big picture, how truly dedicated and consistent you are to all of those things. Now, obviously, there's no advanced lifters that have crappy nutrition and weak strength, right? So you have to have strength. Strength is a big part of it. There's no intermediate lifters deadlifting 95. No intermediate men deadlifting 95. Charles Thompson, I eat 2,000 calories a day. Nicholas, Greg Doucette is the only YouTuber in the industry I heard that doesn't promote bulk and cut. Remember that. Well, the deeper you dive into main gaining, maintaining the same body fat percentage, you can still gain. Like if you're 16% body fat percentage and you want to main gain and stay at 16% body fat percentage, it's a lot of semantics, right? You gain 5 pounds of muscle and you gain 1 pound of fat. That's still a lean bulk. So he can slice it and dice it any way he wants. So it's still a bulk. Soy sauce, banana, Life Fitness Pro back extension is the one machine I wanted your opinion on for lower back where you lay back. If you can send me the link. Robert, heart attack due to stage 5 kidney. That's Boston Lloyd. And I don't know. I'm sure we'll find out or speculate what caused the kidney failure. Set up on deadlift. Sorry, should have been more specific. So Sebastian was talking about. Wow, I got to go back a million. Let me see if I can find on this page. I'm doing the search. I can't find it, Sebastian. I forgot. It's 1,000 questions ago, and I'm not being dismissive. Maybe real quick, remind me. Put it all in one thing, and I'm not being dismissive. I've just had so many questions. I forgot what your specific comment was. Your most impressive lift. That's a tough one. There are a lot of lifts that I'm really happy I accomplished. But I'll show you. You guys want to see it. YouTube, massive iron Romanian deadlift. Let's see if we find it. Okay, let me hold on. Okay, I gotta get the sound off because YouTube will block the video. Okay, so let me go back. This is 635 or 655 on the Romanian deadlift. So I'm going to move that off, and I'm going to share the screen, and we'll pull it up. Here we go. Allow. So this is a Romanian deadlift I did at Gold's Gym, and I've done a lot of lifts, but I'm really proud of this. I unracked it. I walked it out. I did either 635 or 655. We're unsure, so I'm not sure. The video says 655. I thought it might be just 635. But if you look, I RDL this down to about 2 inches off the ground, and then I pop it back up. So I'm going to play the video without the sound. So I walk it out. You can see people in the gym watching. RDL, down, watch the plate. See, it almost touches the ground. You can look on the left-hand side for those of you that watch the left-hand side and watch. It almost hits the ground. It's a couple inches, inch, whatever, off the ground. That's one of my my favorite lifts. And that was just completely random training session. All righty. Ultra Nugget. Hello, mister. What's your opinion about high reps, low weight on the leg press? My only opinion on anything is progressive overload. Whatever you do, higher reps, 20, 25, lower reps, 5 to 6. The only thing that matters is progressive overload over time. I already do heavy squats, so I feel nice. I like doing volume on leg press, but as long as you're progressing, you're fine. Alexander, the end goal is to be fit and to be able to move myself. So if that's the end goal, doing all that body weight stuff is absolutely fine. Mike Israel said, no equipment is necessary for hypertrophy. Correct. And machines can only potentially build the same amount of muscle as barbells. Thoughts? Potentially is the key word. If somebody's training hard and had a good machine repertoire, then potentially, yes. But do I think it is the best way? There's a difference between potentially. Over time, if you train hard and get a lot stronger, potentially you could get the same as somebody that uses barbells, dumbbells, body weight, and machines. Potentially. Let's focus on that word. He's not equating them, so we need to understand that. Mike is not saying they're equal. He said potentially you might be able to. So for the average individual, it's not a call to be weak. You're going to have to train hard, if not harder. So that's my thoughts. Do noobs need to worry about surplus as much? Everybody needs to worry about surplus. Newbie gains, man. If you're a beginner, yes, during the first couple months, there's some neuromuscular adaptation. You're still going to build some muscle, especially if you're using dumbbells and machines in addition to barbells. So your first year, you're not going to be gaining that much weight, 1.5 to 2 pounds a month the first couple of months. So get after it. Get it, and get after it. Bill, now that you mentioned natural chest potential, it is quite overrated as a muscle group. It is. And it's hard to build a big chest. A lot of that's genetic, like a puffy chest, right? If you look at a natural bodybuilding show, most naturals don't have a puffy chest on stage. It's like this flat slab, like a steak. Man, one benefit of higher rep training that no one mentions is the time saved with less warm-up sets. I don't know about that, dude. I don't know about that. There aren't that many warm-up sets in a workout to begin with. You got to warm up for your big compounds. But if you're going to deadlift like 400 by 30, you're still going to have a deadlift. You're still going to have a warm-up protocol. At the end of the day, that's not going to save you really any time. Maybe one. I mean, you just don't want to jump into a 30-rep set. You always want to do a feeler, even on an isolation exercise. So I would disagree with you there. I've been busy lately and basically doing OMAD. I often go to the grocery store and get a rotisserie chicken and a head of cauliflower. Oh, how do you, man, that's, there's nothing wrong with chicken and cauliflower, but, that's not a lot of calories. And I know you're not a big guy. So what's your weight? I think I recall your picture, and I don't know your weight. I don't know if you're 160, 170. That's not a lot of calories, right? Good nutrition, yeah. But I need to know more about your goals, etc. Wipe the Who specifically has inspired you throughout your lifting journey, and who would you look for to information about lifting today? Well, I was originally inspired back in the 80s when I started lifting by Tom Platz because everybody was doing the same thing, but Tom Platz was doing his own thing. So my mentor, at New Mexico Tech, Dr. Mike, who I've never been able to thank, Dr. Michael Gilbertson, if anybody knows who he is or where he's at, or even if he's still alive, I would love to connect with him. He had a big impact on me. He was an English professor and a bodybuilder, and he taught me a few things that just completely changed my results. He was like a mentor to me, and I don't think he realized it. So, who do I look up to today? Well, when it comes to information, I don't really look up to people. I don't. The people I look up to today are more men with integrity, like Jocko, um, Jordan Peterson, things that are people that are thinkers. So in the hypertrophy realm, I dip my toes in every pool. I follow all the big names that are looking at the science. I wouldn't say I look up to them as much as appreciate their work. Does that make sense? Giuseppe. Hope all is well. Thank you, sir. And the same for you. I do bro split Monday through Friday. So far it works. Variety is there as well. 15 months of gym experience. When should one change programs? You really don't need to change programs, Giuseppe. The thing is, one thing you need to consider, if you look at 5 programs, they're probably going to be 80% of the same exercises. So to changing programs, it's okay to switch things up mentally or to try new exercises. I'm not a big one on changing programs as much as evolving a program. So you can change programs every 4 to 5 months if you want, as long as you understand they're the same exercises, right? And as long as progressive overload's there. I think when you start a new program, the first month, it's kind of a feeler month where you're just trying to figure out what the demands are of the workout protocol. After that, you want probably a good 4 months to run with it. Inglorious bagel biting bastards. Getting enough sleep, though, but I guess at the age I'm 44 and been lifting all my life. Neo, a client of mine on Team Massive as well. Hey, Neo, how's it going? Hope all is well. Raphael, I want monstrous traps. That's good. Do your deadlifts, get a lot of trap time under tension or shrug time under tension, and do your overhead presses. That's a good start. If I'm 19 inches wide, how much can this increase if I maximally hypertrophy my side delts? I don't know about width. It's not a number I pay too much attention to, but I would Google search Steve Reeves physique standards. Link is too long. I'll send it to your Instagram. Perfecto. Sebastian asked about hip flexor because I'm struggling to get my back in a straight position from the setup in the deadlift. Is this sumo or conventional? If it's sumo, think about getting your butt down and your head up, and then your back will naturally take a position. If it's conventional, you don't want your back in a straight position. You want to take the slack out of the bar and get your shoulders as high as possible. Ryan, just finished legs, sent you my squat. Form over eventually, hopefully not too bad. Ryan's a client of mine. Thanks, Ryan. I'm about to head off live in just a few minutes, and I'll be checking in with my clients. Experts say, I'm not laughing at you, but when I see experts say, there's a lot of experts that say a lot of things. But they aren't experts. That hypertrophy drives through progressive overload and not the other way around. Progressive overload, it's the same boat. Hypertrophy drives through progressive overload, and progressive overload doesn't drive. What drives hypertrophy is challenging your body over time. Okay. So there are many forms of progressive overload. You can add sets. You can reduce time between sets. You can introduce a drop set, but all those have very limited progressive overload, very limited room to progress. So they are all going to piggyback on strength increases. So if you don't get stronger, we can talk semantics all we want, but if you don't get stronger over time, there's no muscle. Bottom line, which muscles are most responsible for the aesthetic look? Being lean. Just look at Athlete X. There are a lot of guys I work with that have a fair amount of muscle, but they don't look aesthetic because they're not lean. So God's honest answer, being lean. And then having added at least 10 to 15 pounds of muscle. Usually it's the upper body. No people pay attention to the lower body. And that I'm not saying you shouldn't. I'm saying that's the way it is. Nicholas, I don't care for the word optimal either. It confuses people. It's a condition that doesn't really exist. A middle ground. Best time-saving strategies in the gym. Best one is don't screw around with all these warm-up protocols that are unnecessary. Right? If you have a problem, then provide a solution. But too many guys are doing all this crap they don't need to do. You got to bring up your body temperature. Well, for me, that's walking into the gym and loading plates and doing my warm-ups on compounds. That gets it done. Monitoring your time in between sets. I don't want you to shorten your time in between sets, but make sure you're not doing 7 minutes in between isolation exercises. Texting. And just, getting it done, not screwing off. If you're taking longer than 70 minutes in the gym, something's got to break. Something's got to give. Raphael, where do people get the idea to inject the biceps with that crazy stuff? I have no idea where they first started that one. James, thoughts on very short 2-week mini cuts where you eat very high protein? Yeah, I'm all for it. I discussed this earlier. And, go deep, go hard, get it over with, lose some weight, and get back on the train. I'm lifting full body 3 times a week, and I'm trying to get down to 160 by September. You're at 210 now. I thought you were leaner. One meal a day is fine. But the only thing I don't like about it could be budget. The only thing I don't like is that's not a lot of variety. You can get frozen veggies, frozen fruit, like frozen raspberries and blueberries, canned tuna. You can find deals on meat at the supermarket. Like whenever I roll in the supermarket, I always see deals on like pork chops about to expire, things like that. So I would like to see more fruit, veggie, and meat variety, to be honest with you. You want to get some variety in. Get those nutrients in. Are you still interested in astrophysics? Yes. It's something I think about a lot in my free time for fun, which sounds boring and ridiculous to most people. Do you have any personal hypothesis about reality? Wasn't hard to balance lifting and studying? Was it hard to balance lifting and studying? Well, I have a unique situation, meaning I'm not better, worse, or not special. But my dad was a very violent alcoholic, and he left very early. And at the age of 8, I basically had to play the role of a dad to my sisters, my younger sisters. And no one ever taught me how to do anything. I never had a father figure that taught me how to change a light bulb or turn a wrench or change a tire or whatever. So when I got out of the house at age 18 and went to college, I was free, right? I had free time not to monitor my, mothers and sisters, and I was free to explore my own interests. So I liked lifting so much, I just went crazy with it. Sleep and meal timing and all this kind of stuff. And I lost balance because for the first time in my life, I got to be a kid and have fun and explore life and explore my interests. So I got unbalanced and didn't do my studies as well as I should. When I came back home to Wisconsin and went back to a community college, I was crushing my grades because I was a little bit more mature and practicing good study habits at the time. So, wow, I'll leave you with this. Okay. And it's something I think about a lot. If we put somebody, if we put a crew, if we were able to, let's say potentially, in theory, we were able to put a crew into space in the like hypersleep or whatever you want to call it, so they can go for billions and billions and billions and trillions of years into space, not faster than the speed of light, but forever in a hypersleep, right? After, say, 1 trillion years, assuming the human race kept perpetuating, after 1 trillion years, what would they see when they woke up? What do I think they would see? The evolution. They would meet the evolution of the human race at the other end, already beat them there. Because I believe if at the advancement of technology, if we do not kill ourselves like we're doing in Russia, eventually an intelligent species would be able to master everything and would basically be able to become one with space and time and matter. So they would be able to create reality and be part of everything. So when they got to the end of the end, and here's where the paradigm comes into play. They would get to the end of the end, and they would meet humanity already part, one with the universe, with space and time and light and matter, and so on and so forth. We would have mastered everything. So the paradigm, it's like, why doesn't that exist already? Well, maybe it does. Or maybe you can take the dark view of life, where we get so intelligent that we kill ourselves before we can evolve. We gain so much power that we end up killing ourselves before we can evolve. So there's your off-topic thought chatter for today. Like, look at COVID. Maybe in 20 years, somebody can create a virus that kills all life, and he's a madman who releases it. How likely is that to happen? I'd say pretty likely. So, I don't know. The question with any intelligent species is, can they evolve before they kill themselves? Excuse my English. Big fan from Sweden. Thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate it, and come back. Paul X. Doubt it gets through, but could you give some guidance on when to do warm-up sets? And guys, this is the last call. I only have a couple after this, so if you want to get a question, get it in now. Compound lifts. I have some videos on doing warm-ups for compound lifts. So I walk in the gym, I'm going to do bench. I'm going to do my warm-ups for bench. Usually it could be 2, 3, 4, 5, or even 6 sets, depending on how strong you are. You ramp up in weight while decreasing the volume, because you don't want to do a lot of volume during warm-ups. You want to warm up your central nervous system. Once I'm done with that, if I'm moving over to dumbbell bench, I will do one feeler set per exercise. So if I was starting, well, maybe two. When I was starting with when I was doing the 150s on dumbbell bench, I would do the 50s and then the 100s, like 5 reps and 3 reps, just to feel out my chest, just to make sure everything was good. Beyond that, I might just do one feeler set. I would just do one feeler set, moderate weight, moderate reps, just to feel and make sure all the connective tissue and everything for that exercise felt good. Oneness Tribe, try to do so many exercises and rep ranges for legs and can never seem to get my quad sore. Don't worry about soreness. When squatting, my hamstrings get sore, but my quads don't get sore. Every person, every muscle group is generally going to be different. So don't worry about soreness. It's not always an indicator of growth. Just continue to get strong and everything will work out fine. Paul, do you need warm-up sets if you're not lifting advanced weights? Yes. You need to stimulate your central nervous system and bring up your body temperature. If you're somebody that's doing 135 by 10, starting off on bench, you need bar by 10 and maybe 95 by 5 to 6, and you're ready to go. You got to warm up your central nervous system, stimulate your central nervous system, etc. All right, last question. Can I do trap bar primarily if I don't care for standard 100%? Very like. Yes. Man, I'm losing my mind. Yes, very nice. Yes, you can. Absolutely. A lot of my clients, I tell them, look, if you're not a power lifter, if you don't want to risk jacking up your back, you don't have to do conventional deads. You can do trap bar. All right, guys, that is it. 2.5 hours. Thank you so much for tuning in to Massive Iron Live. I'm here every Friday at 11 Eastern. If I missed your question, head over to Instagram app in the Barman. Follow me on TikTok. Follow me on TikTok. Massive Iron YT. Massive Iron YT on TikTok. Head over to my website. Sign up for coaching. Sign up for Team Massive. Get you a T-shirt. Get you a book, etc., etc. So, the old Fermi paradox. Love your story, brother. Thank you. How do you personally think the universe is going to end? It'll go on forever. That's my opinion. All right, guys, we're out of here. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you next time.